Come on, come on. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Coming through. Hello, hello. That's you?
Yeah. If anybody would like to be in here live, definitely send us the request. Be happy to have you. It is 7 o'clock. Thank you all for joining us. Come on in. Hey, Allegra. Thanks for watching. Again, anybody? Hey, girl, hey. Hello, it's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Hey, hey, hey. Everybody making their way in the room. Allegra.
Yup.
Pat's Hair Palace. Jasmine, Nicole, Lyric, Darietta.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yay. So happy for y'all beautiful pictures.
I'm telling y'all, y'all
Y'all did that. Y'all did
Stop.
that. Very nice.
Congratulations. Can't wait for the wedding. All right.
Talking about happiness.
What?
Right
Sherry, hey Sherry, hey Shanita. Thank
Hey,
y'all for joining. Thank
My
y'all.
cousin in the middle room. Inside you.
Inside. Thank y'all for getting on. Thank y'all for taking time out of y'all day to join Mindful Mondays
Mindful Monday.
with K Ham Speaks and
Necee.
woo woo. We appreciate y'all for joining. Today's topic, if you've been seeing on one of our Facebook page, is how do you know if bae is unhappy? Okay, so go ahead, start dropping your answers now in the comments. How do you know
Hey, Ebony.
if bae is unhappy? Hey, Ebony, what's
Miss
up,
Frost in the
girl?
house.
Woo! Miss Frost, okay, Frost in the building. Yes, y'all come on in the room, tell a friend to tell a friend, text somebody to tell them it's gonna be good. Y'all know it's gonna be good. Don't act like that. All y'all know is just text one person. Tell them
We all having a conversation. We having a conversation with you all too. So everybody's gonna let us know how we can tell if bae is happy. So Kenise, how can you tell if bae is unhappy?
Okay, for me, I think, well, not I think, energy. That's number one thing for me, energy. When that energy is finicky, something ain't right. Now, for me, you know that you unhappy with me or you unhappy with something else going on. That's important. But the energy, for me, and attitude, and...
Now we ain't saying mad. We saying unhappy.
Right. Unhappy. Not mad, just unhappy.
Right.
The
Okay.
energy, the attitude, and the last thing for me is, I forgot if it come back, I said, it's one more thing, how I know bae is unhappy. You feel like you walk around on hot coals, like, oh shoot, I don't know if I say this, if this might say that, or say that. You know that it's tension. It's tension. You can feel the tension.
So Shanita says when they're being distant.
That's a good one.
Being distant.
Mm-hmm.
Ebony says his whole demeanor changes. He gets in his head and he begins to shut down. So that's kind of like being distant too. You like causing some space there. Shanna says when they start hitting you with the okay.
Okay.
And Shanita says when they're on edge. So all of those are signs.
Right.
Something's not normal. Something is different. And again, a person, to me, I know you didn't ask me yet, but a person can still be.
So, how do you know when babe is unhappy?
Okay, so what I was going to say before I answer that, though, is I think a person can still be in a relationship and be unhappy. I mean, you have a lot of people that are in relationships and one or the other or both are unhappy. So how do I know when babe is unhappy? I think a lot of what has already been said. When they're distant, they don't want to be around you as much, almost as if they don't like you. And then this is the other thing, because like when you first get together, they're like, "Oh, baby, oh my goodness, you're so perfect. Oh my gosh, oh yes, I love that. Oh my goodness, you're so wonderful." And then when it comes to, well, you know you ain't perfect, right?
But you was
so
somebody.
I mean, we all know we ain't perfect, but it's like things change, and then when they when you say something, and it just seems like no matter what you say, they're gonna say the opposite.
Yeah.
Just because they want to
that tension, though.
That's that bad energy.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, all I said was the sky is blue, and it was like, but no, it ain't blue. It's kind of gray. Okay, well, bluish gray.
Yeah, when it's like they always like that, little petty arguments or little disagreements.
Yes.
So we have a few more comments now. Shanita said, unbothered and interested in how they used to be.
Say that one again.
Unbothered and interested in how they used to be.
Okay.
Jasmine said, when they're not living life to their full potential.
Oh, so they're unhappy. Okay, now that brings up a good point, because she says when they're not living life to their full potential, they're unhappy. But that's not to say they're unhappy with you.
Right, so now that goes to the thing. Are you unhappy with the person you're in a relationship with, or are you just an unhappy person by yourself? Listen, now in preparation of this, right, tonight, I realized that I might be the unhappy person because of some things, or doing things that an unhappy person would do. You say, well, what are those things? Self-sabotage. Holding on to a grudge. That is self-sabotage. Because you're holding on to this thing and you're not letting it go. And you're self-sabotaging yourself. And it goes to Shanita's point. You're distancing your partner because you keep holding on to something.
Because you're unhappy.
Because you can't let it go. So now you're unhappy with something that happened. It happened. Let it go. Move on. And don't keep holding on and harping. Now you self-sabotaging yourself.
Yeah, because you're the one that's holding on to it.
Right.
And the other person probably don't forgot all about it, and they go on and they are happy.
And here you is still stuck.
That's good. That's good.
So the distance, the self-sabotage. What else we have?
We have Sherry says the way he starts treating you. Yeah. Treating you differently.
Yeah. But like you said, it starts off good.
It starts off so good.
And then you get down the line, it's different.
Now you don't do nothing right. Pat says when he wants to take the tables back.
When you want to take the tables back.
Tell us
like the ones out the dining room? No.
Baby, that's what she's talking about. He come to get out of it.
Listen. Y'all want a video? So whoever bold enough to video with us, chime in on the video. We'll add you if you're bold enough. But what's next?
And Shanita said she meant uninterested.
Oh, okay. You saw us stuff? Okay.
Unbothered and uninterested in how they used to be. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She laughing. Jasmine say, but you have to be happy with yourself
Hello.
before you can think about being happy with someone else.
Come in the room. So that's where it starts at.
So that's where it starts at.
yourself.
Okay.
So you saying,
you are happy with yourself.
Uh-huh.
Because like you say, if you're not happy with yourself, you're holding on to grudges, you just want to be miserable.
Mm-hmm.
And you are.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't want to be around miserable.
But hold on now.
Right?
For my people that may not just want to be miserable, you just think you working through some stuff in your life. You know, in yourself. You might not want to be miserable. You just might be, you know, going through some things.
Mm-hmm.
Orange, what's up, Orange?
Hey,
Orange in the building.
Glad to have. I think we got 2 men on here, and I want to hear from the men. You know.
Okay, so Orange, wait in. Who's the
the
other man?
Darielle.
Darielle and Orange, y'all holding it down for the men now. Y'all in the room, so y'all gotta chime in. How do you know when Bay is unhappy? Okay.
And like Jasmine said, what we've been saying to it is nothing to do with you, nothing to do with your partner not making you happy. It could be something internally,
right, that
you're just not happy with yourself. And people are. I mean, I don't think your partner. Sometimes I guess they can love you through that.
You can get.
Or sometimes they be like, look, you got too much going on.
Yeah.
This too much for me. Then we get into another topic is, okay, that that wasn't the one for you. Because one for you will love you through that, and they'll stay there with you until you work through those issues to become happy.
That's true.
Right?
But I think it then goes back to like we saying, you know,
hey, Auntie, baby.
Hey, Auntie. Now I think it goes back to like what we saying is, are you unhappy with yourself, or are you unhappy with the relationship?
Okay. So let's say we don't went to counseling and dug through all our internal issues. Okay. And you really do need to do that. People do need to find out what makes you happy without someone else. Sure. Before you can really, truly, to me, enjoy the full relationship of being with someone else. And so you are with someone else. And so what are some of the things, like we've been saying, that you notice from the other person that are not happy? Now, say you see the distance. You see that, you know, they're acting unbothered, uninterested. They changing the way you treat you. Now, what do?
You gotta address it, communicate it. That's my first thing. My first thing is communicate. I say communicate. What y'all say? I mean, the way I address it, if I see you distant, unbothered, I gotta talk about it. Because if I didn't care, I wouldn't address it. So for me, I want to confront it head on. But then I realize, you know, everybody ain't like me, so you might not want to talk about it right then. It may take a moment. You may not know how to confront conflict. You know, so for me, it's just communication. Like, that's the only way you can talk about it. I mean,
anyone else?
I mean,
you guys agree that it's communication? I think communication is definitely key. Yep, that's what Sherry just said. Yep. Communication is the key.
For sure.
But what if you with someone what if you with someone that doesn't want to communicate? Like, they go into, like, when you go to communicate, they go into a shell and like, no, I'm okay. I'm all right. But baby, I'm talking about this. No, I'm okay. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Now before we answer that, happiness, Pat Sampler said, happiness is a choice. Understanding is a must. Wow. Come on, drop that jam. Come on, one more time.
Happiness is a choice. Understanding is a must. Wow, that's kind of deep.
Understanding is a must. That's true though. Because if y'all don't have understanding, y'all ain't on the same page.
Oh, okay.
So I must understand what you got going on right now. We not gonna be.
That is so true. I just thought of a real life example of that.
Come on.
No, the understanding is a must.
Okay.
Because say you have plans. You know, say you're going to take your significant other or your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, lunch, right? And something comes up at the last minute, right? You get a call from your mom or your dad, and it's like, hey, I really need you to come over here. You know, I need you to do something for me. And so you go do that. You get behind schedule. Your significant other's lunch is at 12 o'clock. You're late. Now you didn't even make it to the lunch to bring them lunch. And so they call you mad because you didn't bring them lunch. Now you take the time to explain to them what you had to do. Hey, look, mom called. Now, do they understand? Are they going to have that understanding of, okay, I understand why you didn't come or why you didn't do what you said you was going to do? Or are they going to be like, I don't care what happened. You said you was going to do this, you should have did it. You know what I'm saying? Understanding is a must.
But here's my question. Did that person, when mom called, communicate? I might have missed that part of the story. Did that person call, when mom called, did that person call the other person and that's the breakdown. I feel like right there that it's so simple. Just say, hey, listen, mom called real quick, got a little something to handle. I may be behind schedule. It ain't nothing. You can't change it. So then that goes back, like you said, understanding is a must. In order to have understanding, you gotta communicate.
Right.
So what we have going on here?
Jasmine said, reset, take it back to the basics.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you get into the routine of dating, living in a relationship. You have to find the time and ways to keep the spark. Date nights, weekend getaways, etc. Breaking the routine should be the routine. Yes.
Breaking the routine should be doing adventurous things, night beach.
Night beach something different.
Yeah.
A picnic in the living room.
Hello.
Yeah. And Ebony says, understanding is definitely a must because it's a part of an effective communication. Communication is give and take. And communication is important too because it's two ways.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we don't effectively communicate because we want to get what our thoughts are out.
Right.
And so somebody's not listening. When you got two people talking at the same time, that's not communication.
Right. That's right. When you listening to respond, that's not communication.
Yeah, because you already know what you're going to say, so no matter what they're saying, doesn't change what you're going to say. That means you're not listening.
And you're not open to understanding. Because in order to understand, you got to be open to a path that you may not have thought of. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
And Pat says, old school song, understanding melody, have to have this love of ours.
What's that song?
Old school song, understanding melody, to have this love of ours.
Okay.
I don't know that one. Date night is definitely essential. Never stop earning each other, Ebony.
Okay.
You gotta earn that, man. You gotta. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
If we always focus on earning the other one, I think that would be good because I'm trying to earn, making him earn me, and I'm earning him.
Yeah.
Doing things that he likes that I know will, get him excited. I know that makes him happy.
And you keep your attention on that person whenever you focus on how to earn that person's, attention.
That earning is important. I think one of the things some females do is we sometimes do too much without them earning it.
I agree. But I also think what you do is when you go into a relationship, if you do too much, if they meet you, then okay. But if they don't meet you, you pull back. And maybe you go in and just tease them a little bit. And if they don't meet you, pull back. What much have you wasted? But when you keep going beyond the point of when you know, you wasting energy.
Hey, DJ!
DJ,
New Orleans!
Hey, in the house.
He says different people have different communication styles too. And it's important to know your partner's communication style.
So let's talk about that.
In the timing.
In the love language.
Yes.
So I say that's a great point because the way
point.
I may want to communicate and talk about it all the time, that might not be how my partner deals with situations or issues or conflict. So I have to now learn that once I get this off my chest, they might not respond right away. Yeah. And I have to be okay with that.
And that's me. I'm a late responder. Mm-hmm. It may take me a day or two before I'm like, okay, this is my response. And then I may go to respond to my partner and they be like, man, I talked about that yesterday.
I'm past that, y'all.
But you have to, that's why, again, and we kind of skipping all over, you got to have somebody that's understanding of that.
Yeah.
That, hey, I understand. She probably will come back to me 2-3 days from now to talk about this. And if that keeps getting on their nerves and keeps bothering them, then, maybe that ain't the one for you. I think at some point, you may just have to face that based on the dynamics of our relationship or lack thereof, this is not the one. Let me move on. Because it's going to be a lifetime of misery if they can never get used to you being who you are.
Yep, and then that's when we get to the point, when you get to the point of happiness is to leave, which brings me to this quote, right? I didn't write this, somebody, therapist. Ask yourself, if today is my last day, can I say that I'm in the relationship that I want to be in? That I deserve to be in? Mm-hmm. If the answers are no, acknowledge that what you want does matter and that it ultimately might be worth ending your relationship. So it goes to that point. That if it gets to the point where you just can't meet ends and see eye to eye and find that common ground of understanding, then it's time to snip, snip. And I think that's what we sometimes get in trouble.
Because we stay.
Yeah.
Think it's just gonna get better.
Why? Why would we? Why?
Well, first of all, I just love. I love you, Sammy. See. Okay. But love will keep you there. But love in and of itself, I think, won't make you happy. Love will keep you there, but if that's all you got is love, you may not be happy. Because you may not have the compatibility that you want. You may not have the camaraderie that you want. You may not have the trust that you want. Yeah,
I get that. You said something else that made me think something.
So Jasmine said back when we were talking about happiness, she says about understanding depends on when you called and told me you couldn't bring me to lunch. I want to know when you knew.
That's the community.
How long did you know?
And that's true too, because you could have known 2 hours and that timing.
Yeah, and then talking about communication, DJ says some like to be, when we're communicating, some like to be straightforward and blunt, and some like, to sit on it, listening to understand versus listening to respond. Good
that
stuff.
Is good.
We really do need to listen to understand. And I think when you do that, you probably got to take yourself out of the way. Because one of the things I think we inherently have is the need to be right. And sometimes all you're doing is talking so you can prove you're right. Even when you may be wrong, but you're so hell-bent on proving that you're right, you're really not listening to understand.
That's right.
You're listening for your ego.
So you gotta be
get
open.
ego out the way.
And that's sometimes hard because, like you say, you want to be right for whatever reason. You may be in a relationship and one may be older than the other, and you just want to be right because you're older and you want to be older, or whatever. Or you the man and you just feel like you know all things, or the dominant one, whatever, so you want to know all things, But like you say, you gotta be open. That openness is such. And what to me that means when you have open communication is you come with no judgment. You don't come with past nothing. You're literally open to hear what that person has to say, no matter how it makes you feel. You listen. And because you have to understand these are words that are coming from somebody that loves you. So what is that? A gift. Because if they never said it, you'll never know how they feel. But if they're gifting you that in that present time, then you're supposed to shut up and listen like you want them to do when you're talking. Now, I admit it.
You good at that. Yeah.
I'm the best. I get it. Hey.
Yeah, and like we said, with a lot of these conversations, we can say, we can sit here and talk intelligently about it, but when in the moment when it's happening to you, do we practice it all the time? Well, no. But we strive to, though. We strive to be that way. Honestly, we do. Derek said, he says he says some may like sending a paragraph text and they only want to talk in person.
Yes. I'm an in-person type of person.
Right, or phone versus text.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't, deep stuff, you shouldn't send a text for it.
But some people like that.
Yeah,
they
some
write
people like
and they like to write it versus.
So then that comes back, if you're the opposite of their method of communication, then you need to talk about it. And then come to an understanding, okay, I know you like this, I like this, can we compromise?
Right. But this is the thing.
Meet each other in the middle.
You can talk about that and tell me if I'm wrong. You can talk about that, you can plan on that. But when the heat of the moment comes, if you're not conscious of whatever you said you would do, that goes all out the window.
Yeah.
It go completely, you can plan it, but the heat of the emotion, you gotta be conscious of it. So to me, when you are unhappy, what are you toying with in your mind that keeps you unhappy versus staying focused on the things that make you happy? So what you focusing on? What you thinking on throughout the day? You thinking, I just wish this big word leave me alone and go somewhere I'd be better off by myself. If you thinking like that.
Or are you thinking, man, I really love this person. How can we make it work? What can I do to change it to be better?
Or if they told you, listen more, you talk too much. All right. Be mindful. That's a hurt, but be mindful.
too. And Shannon, when we were talking about love, she said love ain't enough. I agree with you. And Lamar Jordan,
Okay,
says not having the camaraderie is a big issue. It's tough to be with someone who I can't have a safe space fun with, and I agree with that.
I do agree with that. A safe space, that is so true, especially in a relationship. You want to be able to
be yourself.
Oh,
and that's the safe part. Safe to be yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, safe to be yourself, and safe to definitely. You know, one of the things I often hear is that when you show someone something or you tell someone something, you're making yourself more vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And then it comes up in conversation again when they're trying to prove a point. Yeah. And you go, wait a minute, why are you throwing that back in my face? Yeah. You know, again, all of those are things that we should not do. Sure. And if, you know, our partner does that to us, then we need to have that conversation and say, look, this is how, and when you're calm, and I don't think it's going to work when emotions are high, then say, look, this is how that makes me feel, you know, how can we work, you know, around that? And one of the things we were talking about, quotes, I think I read to you today was, you know, keep your mind calm in all situations. Yeah. You know, keep your mind calm in all situations. It's, you know, just one sentence, but man, if we can practice that in every situation. And no longer than I read it, I got a phone call that like pissed me off. And I was like, wait a minute, mind calm down. But it was after the phone call that I realized I should have just heard the information and not respond emotionally. I think a lot of times if we can subside our emotions, right, and be cool like Obama, that's what I like to call it, Obama cool, because that lady was shaking her finger in his face and he just stood there like it wasn't even there. That's deep.
Want to try?
Oh, you Obama cool? But yeah, you know, how do you keep your mind, like, how do you not react?
But I feel like sometimes we have to react in order to learn ourselves, to learn our triggers. Now, to always stay in control, but sometimes you gotta react in order to know, oh, that's in him. Oh, I do respond like that. And when you see the head come up a little bit, now you know, oh, that's that. Okay, now I know how to keep that down, you know, or master it or whatnot.
Sherry says sometimes that's hard to do. It is hard to do a lot of times. I mean, I reacted recently in a way I didn't even know was in me. So you're right. We have to. Yeah. You have to check yourself and try to get better.
I think that when it does, I guess, happen the first time, I guess just to say a warning shot, you know, it's for us to be aware. So like they say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Now that next time, that's on you, player, because now you're aware. Yeah, you're aware. You're aware that this is how you respond. This is so if my significant other stays out all night and don't text, and when they come back in, just lay down and don't say nothing.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Oh, I forgot my thoughts. I got that quick. But you know, so when that happens and I'm hot, I'm pissed in that moment, like you say, remember to be calm. But it ain't always like that.
So maybe we have to wait then.
After that moment. Yeah, or either when you respond after that moment, you say, you know what? I get angry when so-and-so do that. Okay, so next time it happens, now here's where it's on you. What you gonna do to prevent yourself from getting angry? What you gonna do to maintain your happiness and your joy? Because
so know your triggers.
I think that's good. Know your triggers. What are your triggers? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's why sometimes you probably stay in unhappiness or stay unhappy because you don't know the trigger that's causing you to be unhappy, or you haven't taken the time to recognize it in order to stop it. I don't know. That's my thought.
Okay. Lamar says, keeping calm in all situations is hard, possible, doable, but tough. Makes you feel like you're always thinking for everyone else in a moment of intensity and emotion because you're the only one interested in keeping a level head, though you may equally be as upset. Now that's a good point. You're the one that's doing it. You're the one that's keeping calm, and nobody else is.
Right.
So.
And I get that when he said it makes you feel like you're always thinking for everyone else because you're the level head. Right. You're choosing to take the high road versus not meddle in ignorance.
Correct.
So.
But that's how, I think, to me, that's how I want to be. I
I get that.
I want to be the one always thinking. I want to be the one with the level head. I want everybody to have a level head. But out of the two of us, somebody got to have it. And so if it's not you, then who?
That's true. I think we got to find then when we take the high road and we be the bigger person, so to say, or that person who's always ahead. What is it that fuels us to do that? What is it
to be the level-headed one?
Yeah, to be the one. What fuels you to do it? And then when others, and I ain't saying I'm after this, it's just us talking out loud, not for Mondays. But when others, do what they do, what keeps you motivated to not even stoop to that low energy, that low frequency? That's a question.
I think for me, it's a self thing. Okay. It's something within me that wants to do it. What makes me want to do it? I don't know. That's just me being me. Wanting, I've seen it in, even if it was in a movie, I've seen people be cool and calm and level-headed, and I like that style.
Me too.
And I would rather be known for that style. I like it. To me, that's just what I like.
You say that, I think of Denzel. His movie's just cool and smooth,
just people like that, yeah. And you're thinking, but you're not necessarily talking.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you're just cool.
You're thinking, but you're not talking. So the Bible does say, be quick
no, be slow to speak.
Thank you.
And quick to hear.
What she said, that's right there. It's that one. So that is interesting that you say, you think more than you speak. Okay.
No, I ain't say I do. I say I strive to be that way.
Clear that up. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, Pat says people really don't show you who they are. Being honest totally with your partner is not an easy job for a lot of people because people don't reveal themselves. You don't know until later on who they really are.
So it takes time. Time tells.
And Shannon says if the person always has a level head and the other person doesn't, it could be draining.
Yeah,
it could be draining.
That's true. So oh God.
And Lamar says, it's the reason why I'm in therapy now. The high road is tiring. That's what Sarah just said. It can be draining. Feels like baggage, like you're toting around the emotional temperature of others because you feel like you have to control to keep it from a bad situation from getting worse. But it's because I don't have a confrontational nature. I don't want to look how you look when you're mad. That's why I stay calm. And that's the thing. I don't want to look how you look. And then how do we, though, if we're saying taking a high road and always having a level head is the way to go, then why is it so hard to do? Like, why is it so emotionally draining and tiring to be the level-headed one? Just
when you carry people that you love, and I think sometimes when you love people, we sometimes accept things we wouldn't ordinarily accept, and so that takes away from us and it drains us. And some people, I believe, that leech on and drain us, they don't replenish you back ever. So now you just got this person draining you, and they ain't never gave back to you yet. So it's unbalanced. So now you sucking me dry all my virtue and all I got to take this doggone high road.
But I ain't saying keeping a level head means being a doormat for no one to just come and do and say whatever to you. I think keeping a level head, you can still say what you want to say, is how you say it. Yeah. To me, keeping a level head is still being not aggressive, but assertive. But you don't have to be loud with it. You know what I'm saying? You're keeping a level head, but I can tell you, Kenise, no, you cannot use my car tonight. I ain't got to be mad to tell you that, and I'm keeping a level head and I ain't getting better, but I'm not letting you. It's not to say, okay, I don't want her to be mad at me and I don't want to do this, so let me just give her the keys to my car. No.
But I think the energy that's draining, so let's say you do that, Kenise, you can't use my car tonight. That energy I give you back is going to be, okay, or what you mean? Not that.
I mean what I just said.
Right, but maybe not everybody
can, because how you respond and your energy and all that you got going on, baby, that's on you. That's why I'm being level-headed, so I don't have to be.
But here's my thing, but here's my thing, because Shannon said, it's draining and carrying the people on. Well, at what point do you cut those people off? If it's draining. Or what point do you cut that energy off? Because if it's draining you and you not still able to stay cool and keep your energy from being drained, then something has to go if it's draining you. That's what I believe.
And yeah, and Lamar says when you love people, like you just said, you let stuff slide.
Right.
And this is unbeknownst to a lot of folks because their vision has no perspective and they think, you know, their cup runneth over and you're all poured out.
Sorry.
That's a great
But
way
that
to put
is a good point. It's cup runneth over and you
That's-
all poured out. But that's what I mean by you got some people come and just suck, and never give that. For instance.
Okay. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Now, I was going to say, because if you got people, I mean, if it's that same person, eventually I am going to say, listen, when I talk to you, you drain me, and it's tiring. And I really can only take you in doses. You know, so how about you talk maybe once a month and you stop calling me every day?
Oh, God. You going to tell them that?
Yes. And I love you.
Wait, who is this person? Is it
Whoever it is.
okay. Look at me. So you can tell that to your significant other if they were draining you with their outbursts and their responses.
If it didn't get any better, they would not be my significant other. They would be an other, not as significant. Because I'm not going to live in misery.
I get that.
You know, if you don't, I can't do that.
Pat's hair pellet said, it's draining because you wait in on them to realize that negative energy doesn't produce anything in the relationship, definitely not the fruits of the spirit.
So, and they may never realize that.
Yeah.
We got to take care of ourselves first before we can be any good to anybody else. That's my belief.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm just summing it up at this point to say what I really believe is ownership of self. You know, when you say is Bae unhappy, I think Bae has to take ownership of why Bae is unhappy. And are you the Bae that's unhappy? I think we all have to take ownership first of our own happiness. As Lamar said, he's already in counseling and therapy. I think that's taking ownership for self. Do what you gotta do to make sure you good. You know what I'm saying? And you happy. Because if you not happy, then it don't matter what nobody else do around you. You ain't gonna be happy. So, I mean,
I agree. I mean, you definitely gotta be happy first. But I think part of my happiness is not letting other people's unhappiness affect my happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I try to, sometimes, I want to say something, I've gotten better. I used to just be one of them people, but I've gotten better. So, okay, I'm not going to say that. That's not appropriate. Because I'm sensitive to other people's feelings at the same time. But I'm still not going to let you come in and just say and do anything to me because I'm sensitive to your feelings or that you're sensitive. I'm going to lower my voice because I realize I have a loud voice. So I try to go down a couple of levels, lower my voice, and in a kind of a quiet tone and just tell you what it is.
To me, that go back to the one sentence that you said. Keep your mind calm at all times in every situation. Yeah, that.
I'm practicing that. Like I said, I'm not perfect at it. And it's like no matter, supposedly somebody could come and spit on you.
No way!
And you're supposed to be able to.
Boy, mine. I'm mad you said that because I sure don't want to be the one getting tested with that. Lord. That's a person right there.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about one of them good ones that.
Yeah. And I sit here and like I say, I don't know how I would respond in that situation. But at the same time, it depends on who it is.
Right. You don't know how you respond if you tell the joke and somebody just come and slap you too. You don't know how you respond.
Right, you tell the joke.
Somebody just got slapped back from you, telling you don't know how you respond.
Right.
Until you in the situation. So.
Yeah. So being happy, I think as it pertains to a relationship, is kind of where we started this topic, and we kind of left right and curved around and all of that.
But we appreciate y'all for going with us.
Yeah, you did. You stuck right in there with us. So thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. And on the Mindful Monday, we're saying, to be in a happy relationship, you first got to make sure that you're happy, because unless you're happy first, you definitely can't help to enhance someone else's happiness. And then how do you know if they're unhappy? Some of the things we said, you see the distance, the change in energy. One way to try to resolve that is communication with them and try to get it back on the right track. But if you don't, then maybe time to say goodbye.
To the left,
And if you can't get it on track and make it work, you might have one of the best relationships ever. So
if you got somebody that'll stick with you through your lows and your worst moments, then they'll be there through your highs. You got somebody special.
Somebody who like you even though they don't like you, but they like you.
And on that note, have a great week. We appreciate y'all for joining. Thank you for coming to
something like that.
What you meant to say?
I think I meant to say somebody who likes the things they don't like about you.
Somebody that likes the things they don't like about you.
Yeah.
That is deep. Like if you talk too much, but they like you still beyond.
They say, oh, okay, we can come back here and talk all we want to.